Okay, this is our second video in the series on how to improve management information in insurance. In the first video, you may recall we talked about how do you handle the complexities of things like earned premium and bringing data together in spreadsheets. And have to take a look at that video, but we were fundamentally talking about as your business scales up and you move into thousands, 10,000s, maybe hundreds of thousands of policies, it's just not practical to store and analyze your MI in that way. So of course the other alternative we have is the premiums and claims Bordereau files, which most organizations, MGAs, underwriters have. But how do you turn that base data, which let's be honest is all data and no information, how do you transform that information into competitive edge? And I'm just going to talk about how we do it with our EiB Insurance Analytics offering. So if we just go ahead, how does it look at the moment? You've got premiums and claims data coming in. We have those from different Bordereau files. We could have those from back office systems. And of course, we could have it from multiple back office systems. Sometimes a company may run with one back office system from a particular year and then change that back office system. And obviously in MI, you're looking at providing a continuum of your underwriting performance across all years, obviously from an MI perspective. So we can load this data in. We have some very clever technology. I'll talk about that in other videos. But we have clever technology that loads that premium and claims data and puts it into an operational reporting database, a management information reporting database called a cube. You don't have to worry about that. It just means you get very fast, scalable, and secure access by doing that. And depending on your line of business, we're going to be looking at motor today, but depending on the line of business, you're going to want to obviously analyze that information in lots of different ways. And where do we front end that from? We can front end that from your favorite tool of choice using our software, Microsoft Excel, and you can produce some pretty cool reports and dashboards. I'm going to show you how to do that. And also we can optionally deploy this through web-based tools such as Microsoft's Power BI, so that you can get all the benefits of Power BI at the front end, but you can also get all the scalability of our solution and how we integrate the premiums and claims data at the back end. Now in a later video we're also going to talk about, well, yeah, that's all very well, but what happens if we have erroneous data? How do we stop that erroneous data from getting into your management information, and how do we get that back out to you so that you can sensibly cleanse that data so that your MI is an effective pool of information for you to make decisions on? And we'll cover that in a later video. Now, I'm not really too interested in the technology in this particular video, but we use some pretty cool stuff behind it to build the applications. Most MI applications are built through lines of code and loads of code that writes various things to extract the data from the premiums and claims files and then ultimately merge it into a reporting database. We do that all visually from a development perspective with our EiB Analytics product, and EiB App Studio is the very cool piece of technology that allows you to do that, as you're seeing in this diagram, very visually. But I'm an end user, I don't really care about that. How are we going to take the premiums and claims information that we've loaded into our cube, and how are we going to access that from an operational perspective? Now we're going to our friends at Walsingham here, who are one of the first customers of our solution. And this is fantastic because they've allowed us to use an early version of their system. So some of the data here is mashed up, it's not correct, don't worry about that, but it is actually a real version of their system. So they come in, they load up Excel, it kicks in and loads up the EiB Analytics product, and it takes them to a menu. If I want to pick a report, I touch on, say, the earned versus written triangulation report, and what that's going to do now is it's going to open up the Excel report as any other Excel report. But the difference is the data is not in Excel. That's what kills Excel, is when you try and turn it into a database. Here, it goes away to the cube of data and it gets back information based on the criteria that is specified at the top of this page here. So I can change any of this criteria just by double clicking on it. Now in Walsingham's case, they refer to written premium as WGNPI, which is what I'm looking at here. But if I click on WGNPI, it now gives me a whole list of all the KPIs that I want to look at in this report. Now, obviously the great thing about that is we've loaded these from different systems. So obviously you've got your premium information coming in from perhaps the premium Bordereau, and the claims from the claims Bordereau, or perhaps the premium coming in from the back office system that you may have. We don't really care. But if I want to change that to something else like earned premium, it's literally as simple as double clicking or single clicking, clicking on OK, and it refreshes the data now. Now, of course, as we discussed in the previous video, earned premium has a huge amount of calculations that need to go through it to correctly calculate MTAs, cancellations, reinstatements, all those good things. But here you just pick it as an item, and all those things have been applied. Now, because we've merged the premium and claims data together, we can do some pretty other cool things about this. So here, I'm looking at it for the whole of the UK here. But maybe I want to break down my taxi drivers, in this case, performance for earned premium based on the home counties. Or maybe I want to change it and base it on London. It's all there for me. I just literally click, change the things I'm interested in, and bang, there's the information. And maybe I want to keep on Greater London here, focus on that, but change the demographics and the age banding here. So maybe I want to actually look at, okay, I'm not just interested in every driver, I'm only interested in drivers who are between 40 and 50 years of age. What does that look? And maybe I don't want to just look at it at earned premium. Maybe I want to contrast that and start saying, yeah, okay, well, that's all right from an earned premium point of view, but what about an incurred basis? If I want to look at my claims side now, how do I flip that around instantly and look at my incurred claims? So that's how you do it. It's as simple as that. And it then gives you a breakdown by month now for Greater London, for aged drivers, 40 to 50, for total incurred. And of course I can go further here and change things like the underwriting year. I can also change it from looking at the information on a year-to-date basis, which is what most insurance companies and underwriters look at, but actually just change that for the movement. Sometimes it's easier, particularly on claims data, to look for the movement. So just by flipping that from the underwriting year-to-date to in-month, it flips that back and now shows me the monthly movements, in this case for total incurred. Now, if I want to then pick a different report, it's Excel at the end of the day. So I come out of this report. In this case, I go back to my menu. And maybe I want to contrast some of the information here graphically. So if I pick on this measures analysis dashboard here, what that's going to do is going to give me any 4 indicators that I want to plot. And I can plot that over a number of years or periods or whatever. So in this case, I'm looking at the gross premium including IPT. I'm looking at the written premium. I'm looking at the earned premium. And I'm looking at the incurred premium. Now, as you can see, the fact that these are not just continually going up, they're kind of up and down. I'm actually looking at the data of the current period basis. So if I want to move away from current period or movements and click on underwriting year to date, it's as simple as flipping that, and now I've got that. If I don't want to plot all the information here, I'm looking at December to November +1, i.e. a 24-month underwriting calendar here. If I only want to go back and perhaps look at that from December, which was Walsingham start year, to November, the end of the first year, again, I can change those dashboards interactively very, very easily. And of course, I can look at this for a particular broker here, and I can look at all this information by broker. I can now go down and say, okay, I'm only interested here perhaps in Adrian Flux, and by double clicking on that, remember this is not real data, I can then change that information around accordingly. Now you might be looking at this and saying, okay, I'm looking at incurred here at the bottom. I don't actually want to look at incurred. I want to change that measure. So on my dashboard now, rather than just contrasting the 4 I've got at the moment, maybe I just want to look at total claims. And by double clicking on that now, it now swaps out that information. So I can look at the information on a trend basis. I can obviously always move back and analyze these in any more detail. If I wanted to go to the report here, I've now got a breakdown by month of my in-month position and my year-to-date position here, and you can see me going around here, in this case for the broker Adrian Flux. And if I want to further change that analysis now in a report, I can easily do that, and again only focus perhaps on business that was conducted in Greater London. And again, anytime if I go back to the dashboard now, you'll see that it's now showing me Adrian Flux, but for Greater London. So a very flexible and dynamic way of getting information across tens or hundreds of thousands of policies. Now in the next video, I'll be showing you how you can go a bit deeper than this, how we can do some more advanced analytics, and also how we can look at what happens where there's erroneous data. So that's the sort of things we're going to explore in the next couple of videos. Thank you.